Good morning, students. This is your class of business study, and in this class, we are going to start up another form of business organization, that is company organization. We also know it as joint stock company. The common name of it is company. So, what is a company? A company is an artificial legal person. That means company is given all the rights of a person, but there is one exception, that there will be no voting right for company, and that artificial person is created by law. That means we have registered it. Okay, having a separate legal identity, the members are different from it. With a perpetual succession means it is not affected by anyone's death or injury. Okay, and the last is it have a common seal. Common seal is basically a stamp which consists of the name of the company, and that must be signed by two of the board of directors. That is known as common seal. So this is what our company is. Okay, a company is an institution formed by person who just invest capital in it and share their profits. Okay, the capital is invested by the way of shares. Share is the unit by which you can invest the capital in the company. All right, company is run under the rules and regulations of Indian Companies Act. Earlier it was 1956. But now it is replaced with 2013. Now we have revised the Indian Companies Act, and now the Indian Companies Act is 2013. Okay. Now we come to the features of Indian company. Indian Companies Act, or we can say basically the features of a company. Okay. So the first one is it is an incorporated association. Incorporated association. Incorporated association means the company must be registered under the Companies Act. It must be a registered company. All right. The second feature, as we discussed in the definition itself, it have a separate legal entity that is different from its partners, because we have registered it. So law have given it a separate entity. So that means it must be separate from that of its owner. All right. The third feature of it is perpetual succession. Perpetual succession. Now, what does this mean? This means that the business won't be affected by the death or injury of any of its member. If some of its member die, the money will be given to its nominee. If someone enters, then the money will be collected, and there will be no effect on business. That is, this will continue till end. In this context, there is a famous quotation by a famous uh, researcher about business, that members may come, members may go, but the company will remain forever. That is, if the member is coming or the member is going, the company will not be affected by it. Moving up to the fourth point, it have limited liability. Limited liability is there of the members. Only up to the extent of capital invested. They are liable only to the extent of capital invested, and no personal property will be taken by them. After that, the fifth is there is transferability of share. Transferability of share is possible. Like in partnership, you can't transfer your interest. But here, if X have purchased 1000 rupees share, now it want to give it to Y, then yes, he can give it to Y. There is no restriction. The transferability of share is there. The sixth point is common seal. Common seal. So basically, the company is an artificial person, so there will be no sign of that. So in place of these, the sign of that artificial person, a signature of company, that is a stamp is created, uh, that must be signed by two of the board of directors. Only then it will be eligible for being a common seal. Okay. So the next is merits and demerits of company organization. So the first merit is it will have a limited liability. The member of it will have a limited liability. We have discussed it earlier that they will be only liable to the amount that they have invested as capital. Along with that, their share are transferable. So more people will try to invest in it, because whenever they want, they can sell it. There is no need to see here and there, because there is a lot of liquidity in the shares of a company. Management is also good, because a proper staff of management, proper managers, MBA person are appointed there to do the management work. After that, there is a continuity, perpetual succession. There is no effect by the death or birth of scattered, that is divided. The risk is divided among all the investor and not on a single person. So that is also advantage. The production is on large scale. Large scale production means economies of scale. You will produce cheaper goods and then you will sell it on good prices and earn good profits. After that, there is a separate legal identity because company have registered. Then the company have identity of itself, which means the company's goodwill will not be affected by the goodwill of its members. So if the member is doing a wrong thing, the company's goodwill is not spoiled. Then it is easy to get the loan because company are promoted by a number of banks or government policies so that they can be good in their work or they can be better in their field. Next is demerits of company organization. There is difficulty in formation because of registration process. There is a long registration process that is to be followed for getting registered. Next is there is no secrecy because members are of different area, different religion, different caste, and different interest of there, and anyone can be the member. So if anyone can be the member, the competitors person can also be the member. So that's why there is no secrecy in this. There is no motivation in this also. Why? Because the work is done by employees and not by the owners. The owner is motivated by the profit because the more he will work, the more profit he will get. But the employee will get a fixed amount of salary. Then why will he work harder? If he is working 8 hours, then only he is getting 10,000. Working for 9 hours, he is getting 10,000. Working for 10 hours, he is getting 10,000. Then why will he work harder? He will work only for 8 hours. There is no motivation for that. Next is government have much control over there because government issue policies from time to time to control the companies. Along with that, the price control is there by subsidy and tax rate. Government control the price of goods also. After that, there is a delay in decision. Why there is a delay in decision? Because the management have to call the meeting of the owners, that is the shareholder, and after that the owners belong to different areas, and then they will just come together and the meeting will be held. After that, the decision will be taken. So there is lot of delay in the decision. The last is corruption because there is no owner who is checking out on the business. They are just managers. So yes, there can be corruption in the business because they haven't invested their money in it. The money is of someone else. So these were the merits and demerits of the company organization. So the next is kind of companies. So basically company is divided into three types on the basis of which we can do the division of companies. So the first one is on the basis of liability. On the basis of liability, company is of two types, limited and unlimited. Under limited, what will happen? The liability of its member will be limited. Okay, but in unlimited liability, as clear from the name, the liability of the member will be unlimited. Okay. The second is on the basis of incorporation, that is registration. Who have registered the company? The first one is by royal charter, that is prevalent in the ancient India. Charters are a type of acts passed by the royal king or queens. Okay, whenever it is passed, an act is passed by the royal king queen, that is called a charter, and when it is passed by a government, it is called an act. So that was prevalent in the ancient time, like East India Company was a result of, East India Company was a result of royal charter that was from Britain queen. Next is act of parliament. If parliament is passing an act, that we have to form that company, that will be formed by act of parliament, like RBI, SBI. These are also type of companies, but these are passed by parliament. Parliament have given an act according to which they have formed. They have a separate act, like RBI Act 1935. They have a separate act. After that, Indian Companies Act 1932. The companies that are registered under Indian Companies Act 1932, they are called, sorry, they can be classified under this thing. Like if I say Hindustan Lever Limited, that will be a company under Indian Companies Act 2013. Last is on the basis of member, it is divided into private company, public company, and one person company. So basically, what is private company? A private company is the one, a company whose share can't be sold in the market. Share can't be sold in the market. Why? Because the money will be arranged by private individual itself, which means the individual itself have to arrange for all the finance. But the next is public company. So the public company can sell its share in the market and arrange the money from there. Okay, so the public company is one which is free to sell and buy their shares in the market. The last is a new concept, that is one person company. one person company is just emerged, and it is not much popular in modern era. So it was established under the Companies Act 2013. Section 2 gave its definition that one person company means a company which have only one person as its member. Okay, and it will be a private company, and this will be just a type of sole proprietorship, but it will be registered as we have registered the companies. Okay, so these were the kinds of companies. Now we come to detail of private company, that is the evaluation of private company. So here we have the advantages and disadvantages of private company. Under private company, the formation is very much easy. That means we have at least, if we have at least 2 or more members, then we can get ourselves registered. And there too, we don't need to get the certificate of incorporation. That is necessary in case of public company, but not necessary in case of private company. The next is secrecy. There is no need to disclose the books of account to the public, because this is a private company. So if they are not disclosing their books of account, they are enjoying secrecy. The next thing is their liability is also limited, because the members will pay only up to the extent they have invested in. Their existence is permanent. They are not affected by the birth or death of any of the members. They are free from legal formalities, because the number of government regulations that are on public sector are not on the private companies. Direct motivation is there, that how they will work. If they work harder, then they will get more profits, and that will be divided in them. And if they work they didn't work harder, then they will not get much of the profits. The disadvantages are like this: they have limited members, that is, they can't be more than 200 or more members. So there is a limitation that you have to go up to 200 members, not above that. After that, we have limited resources, because there are only 200 members to invest in it, but in public sector there is no limit like this. Third is priority to public sector. Most of the people give priority to public sector, because public sector have an advantage that that is secure sector for investing. Along with that, public sector is a well established sector, whereas private sector is not much established in case of risk. Because if there is a loss, the public sector will try to cover it up, but the private sector won't try to cover it up. It will be your loss, your capital will be going through the loss. Okay, now comes to the thing that how will a company be formed. For the formation of company, we have to follow 3 steps that are given under the Indian Companies Act. First one will be promotion, second will be registration, and third will be commencement. This is the whole process. For that, firstly we are going to study about promotion. So basically, what is promotion? Promotion is all those activities that we are doing to bring into existence a particular business. We have thought about the idea that we will open a shoe business, and from that idea to opening up the business of the shoes, that will be promotion. And the person who will be doing this, that person will be called a promoter. Okay, so there are some stages of promotion that I have written here. So first of all, there will be a discovery of new idea. A person will get an idea that what type of business should be opened in the market. After that, there will be a detailed investigation about that, if the raw material to the product will be available, will the product be demanded in the market, what quality of the product is demanded in the market, what will be the price of that particular product. A detailed investigation about each and everything about the product, the competitor, the importers, exporters, the other things. After you have detailed investigation in the market, and you are finding out that your product will work out, that it is possible that they will the product will be sold, then you have to assemble different factors. You will buy different factor and then make them together, so that you can start up your business. So you have to buy a farm or a building or land, then construct a building on it. Then you will have to buy a particular machinery for that, and for raw material that will be converted into finished good. Once you assembled all the resources, that is, assembling means you have to call for them. You will have to search for raw material. You will have to find out who will sell you machinery, who will sell you the farm. So if you find each and every person who is going to sell you these resources, then you will finance the proposition. You will give them money and get these all things with you, and hence the company will be come into existence. So we have make the company into existence. This whole process is the process of promotion. Now let's go to the registration. Okay, before that, I also want to tell you, for that financing financing this proposition, the money that will be the owner will be arranging whole of the money, okay, by the way of loan or any other way, like he can take the credit from someone, or he may have his own capital. Okay. Yes, so the next is about registration of the firm. Registration means submitting documents to the registrar of the company. So for that we have to follow the four steps. The first is the preliminary activities. We have to follow some preliminary activities that are firstly we have to find out the location of the registrar office in which we are going to be registered. After that we have to submit the name of the company. Then we have to get the license from the office of the registrar. After that we will have to make the necessary appointments of main persons, like who will be your broker, who will be your banker, who will be your merchant bank, and some other persons like lawyer advisors, legal advisors. After that you will get your documents prepared by the person you have appointed for that work. Okay. Now which document are to be prepared? So document to be filled are memorandum of association, MOA. Basically memorandum of association consists of the objective for which the company have been established. Without memorandum of association no company can be registered. Next is article of association. Basically article of association consists of rules of the company. Without this also company can't be registered. After that you have to declare the place and location of the company. That will be within the 30 days of registration application. Next is list of director. You have to make a list of director, their address, and along with that they must be given written consent by the director that they are going to join the business as directors. After that there will be undertaking of share. Undertaking of share means someone will have to undertake that if the public is not going to purchase your share, then that person will purchase your share. That is a guarantee of purchasing. Next is you will have to appoint a managerial personnel who will manage your business. And in the end of this, after giving all these documents to the registrar, you will have to make the payment of the fees, and you will pay the fees that is given under section 611 in the Indian Companies Act 2013. Okay. And the last one is to arrange for capital. The public company will arrange the capital by the owners itself, and the public company can go in the market and sell its share to arrange the capital. This was the registration process. Okay. Now the last thing is, after the registration the company will get an incorporation certificate. The incorporation certificate is a proof that you have registered your company. The private company, after getting the certificate of incorporation, can set up their company. They can start the company now. There is no need to wait. But the public company have to get the certificate of commencement also. That will be in the third step. So how one will get the certificate of commencement? Let's discuss about that. Basically, what is certificate of commencement? For that you have to follow two procedures. Either you have to issue a prospectus for that, that will consist all the details of your company. That will be for inviting share application. That means you are inviting people to invest in your company, and you will have to set a minimum subscription. That much percentage of a particular so basically it is a limit, that minimum this number of share must be bought by the public. Okay. In Indian Companies Act it is fixed as 90%. So if your 90% share are purchased by the public, then you can go ahead. If you have received the minimum subscription, then you can get the certificate of commencement, and hence your business will be started. Okay. You will show the registrar that you have received the minimum subscription, and then you can start your business. But in case you are not willing to invite the public, to invest in your business, then in that case what will you do? You will issue a statement. In place of this prospectus. In that statement you will declare that you are going to arrange whole of the capital by yourself and your other members. Like if 2 or 3 or 4 members have joined and they are saying that they can arrange their capital by themselves, yes, they can do so. For that they have to issue a statement in lieu of prospectus, and the director must have signed that statement. After that this statement will be submitted with the registrar of the company, and then your business will be started, because you will get the certificate of commencement. Okay. So this was the particular formation of the company, various stages involved in it. After that, in the next class, we are going to discuss about the main documents that are involved in the formation of a company. memorandum of association, article of association, and third one is prospectus